Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating, the eye. Not just as the organ that lets us see, but as a symbol, a representation of power that has echoed through millennia of human history and culture. Think about it for a second. Everywhere you look, you'll see an eye staring back at you, on money, in logos, in art, and it's never just an eye. It feels like it's watching, knowing, great judging. That feeling is no accident. This isn't just about anatomy. It's about how a simple body part became an emblem of authority, knowledge, and even divine presence. Before we get into it, if you find history and cultural deep dives interesting, give the like button a good looking at. See if it sparks your interest. I'm very curious to hear from all of you about what's the first image that pops in your head when you think of a symbolic eye. So be sure to let me know in the comments. Let's start with the basics. The eye, biologically speaking, is incredible. It gathers light, translates it into electrical signals, and sends them to the brain, allowing us to perceive the world around us. It's our primary way of understanding our surroundings, of discerning friend from foe, and of navigating our lives. This fundamental role alone naturally lends itself to symbolic weight. To see is to know. To be blind is to be ignorant. This association is as old as humanity itself. Early humans relied on sight for survival, making the ability to see, and therefore the eye itself, inherently valuable and powerful. Now let's journey to ancient Egypt. Here, the eye truly took on a life of its own. The Eye of Horus, also known as the Wadjet, is probably the most iconic example. Depicted as a stylized human eye with falcon markings, it represented healing, restoration, and protection. According to myth, Horus lost his eye in a battle with Seth, but it was later restored. This restoration symbolized the triumph of good over evil, order over chaos. The Eye of Horus wasn't just a symbol. It was a potent amulet, worn by pharaohs and commoners alike for protection and good health. Beyond protection, the Eye of Horus was also associated with royal power. Pharaohs, seen as divine rulers, were often depicted with the eye prominently featured on their crowns or headdresses. This wasn't mere decoration. It was a visual declaration of their authority, their connection to the gods, and their ability to see and understand all that transpired within their kingdom. They were, in essence, always watching over their people, just as Horus watched over Egypt. The eye becomes a visual representation of their omniscient authority. The Eye of Ra is another significant Egyptian symbol. While visually similar to the Eye of Horus, it represents a different aspect of power, the destructive force of the sun god Ra. The Eye of Ra could be sent out to punish wrongdoing and enforce Ra's will. It represented divine retribution and the unyielding power of the sun. Think of it as the enforcer of the gods. This duality, the protective and the destructive, highlights the complex nature of power itself. Moving eastward, we find the concept of the evil eye present in numerous cultures across the Middle East, the Mediterranean, and beyond. This belief centers on the idea that a malicious glare, born of envy or ill intent, can inflict harm upon the recipient. The eye, in this context, becomes a conduit for negative energy. To ward off the evil eye, people often wear amulets depicting eyes, acting as deflectors of this malevolent gaze. The Nezar Bonkugu, a blue glass bead with an eye-like design, is a common example. The evil eye belief showcases a different facet of the eye's symbolic power, its perceived ability to inflict harm. While the Eye of Horus represented protection and healing, the evil eye represents vulnerability and the potential for malevolence. This duality underscores the complex relationship humans have with the concept of sight and observation. It can be a source of comfort and knowledge, but also a source of fear and danger. This is one of the first instances of seeing the eye represented not as something to be admired, but to be feared. In ancient Greece, the eye was linked to concepts of knowledge and perception. Philosophers like Plato explored the nature of sight and its role in understanding the world. The eye of the mind, as it were, became a metaphor for intellectual insight and the ability to grasp abstract concepts. This philosophical exploration further cemented the eye's association with intelligence and understanding. This is really the start of where the eye transitions to a concept that can exist outside of the physical. The legend of Argus Panoptus, a giant with 100 eyes, illustrates this point beautifully. Argus was tasked with guarding Io, a maiden Zeus had transformed into a cow. Hera, Zeus's jealous wife, assigned Argus to this task precisely because his numerous eyes made him an inescapable observer. Hermes eventually slew Argus, but Hera immortalized him by placing his eyes on the tail of a peacock. The story reinforces the idea of the eye as a symbol of constant vigilance and inescapable observation. In Christianity, the all-seeing eye of God emerged as a powerful symbol, often depicted as an eye enclosed within a triangle representing the Holy Trinity. It signified God's omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence. God sees all, knows all, and judges all. This imagery was particularly prevalent during the Renaissance and Baroque periods, appearing in churches, paintings, and other religious art. This symbol placed the eye in a position of ultimate authority. The all-seeing eye found its way into secular contexts as well. During the Enlightenment, it became associated with reason, enlightenment, and the pursuit of knowledge. Thinkers believed that reason could illuminate the world and dispel the darkness of ignorance and superstition. The eye, in this context, represented the power of human intellect to perceive and understand the truth. So many concepts rely on sight as a core tenet, like visionary and insight. This Enlightenment interpretation is reflected in the Great Seal of the United States, adopted in 1782. The reverse side features an unfinished pyramid topped by the all-seeing eye within a triangle, often referred to as the Eye of Providence. While its exact meaning is debated, it's generally interpreted as representing divine guidance and the pursuit of perfection. It also conveys the idea that the new nation was being watched over by a higher power. The inclusion of the all-seeing eye on the Great Seal has, inevitably, led to conspiracy theories. Some believe it represents the influence of secret societies like the Freemasons, who also use the eye as a symbol of enlightenment and morality. Regardless of its intended meaning, the presence of the eye on the dollar bill has fueled speculation and intrigue for centuries. This demonstrates the lingering power of the symbol to evoke mystery and suspicion. Moving into the realm of literature, the eye plays a crucial role in shaping narratives and conveying themes. In George Orwell's 1984, the omnipresent surveillance of Big Brother is symbolized by posters bearing the slogan, "Big Brother is watching you." This chilling reminder underscores the oppressive power of surveillance and the loss of individual privacy. The eye, in this context, becomes a tool of control. In Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, the narrator is driven to madness by the vulture eye of the old man he lives with. The eye, described as pale blue with a film over it, becomes an unbearable symbol of guilt and paranoia. The narrator's obsession with the eye ultimately leads to his confession of murder. Here, the eye represents the burden of conscience and the inescapable gaze of guilt. In the world of modern art, the eye continues to be a potent symbol. Surrealist artists like Salvador Dali and René Magritte frequently incorporated eyes into their work, often in dreamlike and unsettling ways. These artists explored the subconscious and the irrational, using the eye to represent perception, illusion, and the fragility of reality. They challenged viewers to question what they saw and how they interpreted the world. The rise of photography and film in the 20th and 21st centuries further amplified the power of the eye as a symbol. The camera lens, often referred to as the eye of the camera, became a tool for capturing reality, documenting history, and shaping public opinion. The ability to record and disseminate images gave photographers and filmmakers immense power to influence perceptions and control narratives. Think about the iconic photographs that have shaped our understanding of historical events. The image of the Tank Man in Tiananmen Square, the Napalm Girl in Vietnam. These photographs, captured by the camera's eye, became powerful symbols of resistance, suffering, and the human cost of conflict. They remind us of the power of visual media to bear witness and to move us to action. In contemporary society, surveillance cameras are ubiquitous. They watch us in public spaces, in stores, and even in our own homes. While proponents argue that surveillance is necessary for security, critics raise concerns about privacy violations and the erosion of civil liberties. The ever-present gaze of the camera raises fundamental questions about the balance between security and freedom. It's the Big Brother concept made reality. The internet and social media have created new avenues for visual communication and self-expression. Emojis, memes, and GIFs have become a common language, allowing us to convey emotions and ideas quickly and efficiently. Even in this digital landscape, the eye remains a powerful symbol, used to express everything from surprise and curiosity to suspicion and skepticism. The winking eye emoji, for instance, can convey playfulness or sarcasm. In the realm of branding and marketing, the eye is used to grab attention, create a sense of trust, or convey a message of vigilance. Logos featuring eyes can be found across various industries, from security companies to healthcare providers. The eye can symbolize watchfulness, expertise, or a commitment to providing clear vision and solutions. It's a powerful and versatile visual tool. The fashion industry has also embraced the eye as a design element. Eye-shaped jewelry, clothing with eye motifs, and eye-catching makeup looks are all popular trends. These designs can be interpreted in various ways, from a playful nod to pop culture, to a more profound statement about self-awareness and visibility. It's a way of literally wearing your awareness on your sleeve. Consider the cultural phenomenon of eye contact. In many cultures, maintaining eye contact is seen as a sign of honesty, confidence, and respect. Conversely, avoiding eye contact can be interpreted as a sign of shyness, deception, or disrespect. The way we use our eyes in social interactions is a complex and nuanced form of communication. This ties back to the idea of the eye as a window to the soul. The power of the eye extends beyond human interactions. Think about how we perceive animals with prominent eyes, like owls, often associated with wisdom and knowledge. Or the gaze of a predator, like a hawk or a lion, which commands respect and instills fear. The animal kingdom provides further examples of how the eye conveys power and influence. In conclusion, the eye has evolved into a multifaceted symbol, embodying a range of concepts from protection and knowledge to surveillance and fear. Its enduring presence across cultures and throughout history speaks to its fundamental importance in human perception and understanding. From the Eye of Horus to the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill, the eye continues to fascinate, intrigue, and remind us of the power of sight and observation. Now, which of the symbols did you find most interesting? Let me know down in the comments. As we've seen, the eye's symbolic power is deeply rooted in its biological function. The ability to see, to perceive the world around us is fundamental to our survival and our understanding of reality. This inherent power has been amplified and interpreted in countless ways across cultures and throughout history, making the eye one of the most potent and enduring symbols in human civilization. Hopefully you have a new way of seeing what is around you and how these types of symbols have a power that can persist through millennia. So the next time you encounter an eye as a symbol, whether it's on a building, in a work of art, or even in an emoji, take a moment to consider its rich history and the complex meanings it conveys. Think about how it resonates with your own experiences and perceptions. The eye, as we've discovered, is far more than just a window to the soul. It's a window into the human condition itself. If you like this type of content, please do not avert your eyes. Stare directly at that subscribe button and click it. The eye's journey from a simple biological organ to a complex symbol of power highlights the human tendency to imbue objects and concepts with meaning beyond their literal function. It reminds us that symbols are not static. They evolve and adapt over time, reflecting the changing values and beliefs of the societies that use them. It also shows how interconnected we are as humans across the globe and throughout time, as we are all interested in and concerned about things like power, knowledge, and safety. The eye story is also a reminder of the importance of critical thinking and visual literacy. In a world saturated with images and symbols, it's crucial to be able to interpret these visual cues and understand the messages they convey. By understanding the history and context of symbols like the eye, we can become more informed and discerning consumers of visual information. It's important to remember that people aren't always using these symbols in good faith, and understanding how to decode them and what they stand for is key to making informed decisions. So I encourage you to continue exploring the fascinating world of symbols and their meanings. Look around you, pay attention to the visual cues that shape your perceptions, and ask questions about the stories they tell. The world is full of symbols waiting to be deciphered, and the more we understand them, the better we can understand ourselves and the world around us. That said, this is my third eye into the topic. I would love to hear from all of you what your perspective is, so feel free to comment below with anything else about how the eye is a symbol of power. Be curious, think oddly.